blender blades are working much better since I sharpened them. Cheers! Having a smoothie. It's still dark out because we gotta take Ava to school today. Kids go to school before the sun comes out because they're vampires. All alone in the wood shop. So I have a bunch of these pictures that I made for my book, and they had gotten all wet from the hurricane, but somehow they didn't get ruined. So I'm gonna make a bunch of picture frames and try to figure that out. I have been spending a lot of time, I haven't been on the internet. From spending a lot of my time alone, I can understand that the internet is a nice place to spend to stop the boredom. Taking a week off the internet, I have spent time meditating, and these are the things that I have found since I've been just kind of relaxing and thinking and focusing on things that need to be focused on. But I haven't had an actual read to you guys, and I was writing, and I really like what I wrote here. Understanding time takes time to understand. So much of this time we feel we must pay in order to earn a portfolio. We all pay our time to get paid, and we add to this portfolio of things to grant us comfort. Is it comfort we seek? Is it an instinct of the need for safety instead? Meditation is granted to us when we listen only. This can be achieved when we fully think of someone other than ourselves. When we truly find peace, we find fulfillment in seasons and change. We embrace stepping out of our own boundaries and spend small amounts of time monitoring our feelings against criticism. Learning is achieved through the gentle gaps of light, and time is only recognized over the past reflections. The time we have is now. Fulfill it with whatever you remember it by. These are just kind of some of the things that I've been kind of meditating on, because even the first statement, understanding time takes time to understand, really does make sense, because when you get older, it seems like time goes a lot faster. And when you're younger, 5 minutes feels like forever. So much of this time we feel we must pay in order to earn a portfolio. Whether it be school or work, we do spend a lot of time, our own time, the time that we should be spending fulfilling something other than this portfolio. We all pay our time to get paid, and we add to this portfolio of things to grant us comfort. So this portfolio of things could be a job, and that job will grant us money, and then we can use that money to buy things like food and shelter, and also just to grant us comfort of not having to worry about money or worry about not knowing where food is or how to get it. Is it comfort we seek? Are we really worried about not being able to eat and drink? Or is it the instinct of the need for safety instead? Is it the instinct of knowing that food and water is important? Meditation is granted to us when we listen only. And I've had this happen before when I was at the beach, and I decided I'd try to meditate at least once a day. Kind of sort out that you don't need to think in your mind anymore, and then all of a sudden I started to just hear the waves. This can be achieved when we fully think of someone other than ourselves. When we got our minds all muddled and we're thinking about so many things, actually listening sometimes to something else is harder than we think. When we truly find peace, we find fulfillment in seasons and change. I think a lot of times people are afraid of getting old. They're afraid of their hair turning gray. And change, a lot of times, people are afraid of. We embrace stepping out of our own boundaries and spend small amounts of time monitoring our feelings against criticism. We, meaning those who find peace. We step outside of our own boundaries. Sometimes we find something more achievable. And if we spend small amounts of time monitoring our feelings against criticism, not being afraid to be criticized, not being afraid to learn something new or to step outside of your comfort zone. Learning is achieved through the gentle gaps of light. Time is only recognized over the past reflections. And there's truth to this. But learning is like a light, and sometimes it will just gently kind of happen where you learn something and it's something you've fully pulled in. And that's the gentle gaps of light, is when it's pulled into you and you understand it, you fully learn it. Time is only recognized over past reflections because you've learned it already. In order to really understand time, watch a child get older and then watch the past reflections of that, because you'll look and you'll know that the child is older now because you look at the past. And sometimes that's how we recognize time, and that can be gently brought on you as well. And the last thing I kind of write is, the time we have is now. Fulfill it with whatever you remember it by. Because we have a lot of time in our lives, and it's best to fulfill it with things that you're going to remember, good things that you're going to look back on, and gauge your time off of that. Because if you can fulfill your time with things that make you happy, then that's what you're going to gauge on, is that happiness. That's a good memory to have, to gauge and remember your life by.